Hello and welcome back to the NBA DFS Slate Breakdown. I know I did say that I was going to end these shows, but I think I'm going to try and keep it going here. If the views are still up, we will absolutely keep them going for the time being. If they dropped off big time, well, then it's just only going to be MLB. Now, let's get into this slate. Before we do, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Helps us a ton. Helps the video. Maybe you can get a couple more views going my way to keep this going. Now, let's get into the slate as a whole. I'm going to try and make it a quick one just because it's already late in the day and we've done a lot here. So right into point guard on FanDuel. There is 9 games on FanDuel, 10 games on Draftkings. Draftkings has the Denver and Minnesota game later, whereas FanDuel does not. Now, starting with point guard. Once again, it looks like SGA is doubtful, so I would expect him not to play. Cason Wallace is getting love, but look, we saw 25 minutes from him in a lower usage spot because he's with the starters, and he just didn't get it done, but people are still going there. I don't really like it. I get it. He is cheap if you want to go there. I'm just not going there much. Next, we got Tyrese Halliburton, 9,100 in a great spot versus the Lakers. I'm definitely getting to a little bit, not going overboard with it. I think this 24% is a bit high on him, but I don't mind him. Jordan Poole is next. Hey, Jordan Poole has finally been the guy that we expected him to be early in the season. He's starting, he's playing big time minutes, big time usage, and in a spot versus the Pistons, I gotta kind of like it. He's shown us 50-point ceilings at 7,400, so I'm definitely there a little bit. Miles McBride has been consistent lately as a starter, getting a ton of minutes, and now he's in a really good spot versus the Spurs team, which ranks 26 versus shooting guard. He is just playing an absolute insane amount of minutes with 5 straight games with averaging 44.3 minutes a game. So the guy's out there a ton. He's 6,300. I think, 30 plus is most likely where he's at. And, at some point you got to take some safety. And he showed a little upside because he did have 45 versus Toronto last game. Next pivot, we got to go Delano Banton. This guy just keeps getting it done. His price is up there. I don't love the price. If he, and really don't know what to tell you about his minutes, because his minutes have been all over the place. 32 minutes a game over the last 5, but 19 minutes a game over the last 20. He has, however, been at least more consistent lately with 33, 28, 24, 33, 39, then 37. So it does seem like when he's coming off the bench, if he's playing well, they're getting him more minutes. But if he's not playing quite as well, then he doesn't. So Banton has, giant variance with him. And I'm willing to jump on that at low ownership. Next, I got to talk about Scoot Henderson. Scoot is starting. They really do need to give this guy a run. When he's playing well, he has a solid ceiling, but he's just had no consistency whatsoever. But I'm willing to take some chances on Scoot. I just don't want to go overboard. But at his low ownership, I'm willing to take a couple swings. On to DraftKings point guard, high owned. We got Josh Giddey, Tyrese Halliburton, and Jordan Poole. Like I said, with Cason Wallace, there is no SGA. So it is going to be Josh Giddey. He's likely running the point. He ran 32 minutes last game, 31 the game before that. So his minutes have been solid lately. We have him at 29. But look, point guard versus the Suns, it's a great spot. If he gets to 32, 34 minutes again, he's likely going to smash. Now, let's get over to the matchup tool with point guard, Cade Cunningham, Jordan Poole, Cason Wallace. It will be Josh Giddey likely. It was Giddey starting at point guard last time. And then Steph Curry. Look, all of them are fine. I think Cade Cunningham, I would really, really like him if he was playing more minutes. They have him playing like 29 minutes a game right now. They're probably just keeping him from getting hurt and trying to tank a little bit because they're awful. I wish he was getting more minutes. If I could count on 32 minutes from him, I would love this spot for him. But I just can't count on that right now. Getting into shooting guard, Cason Wallace, Jalen Williams, and Lou Dort. I think Lou Dort is a very interesting cheap play at 4,800. He does have a big ceiling. The big thing here is that most likely his, obvious outcome is only like 4.5x and doesn't get it done for you. But he has that ceiling of 30 plus. And with no SGA, there's just a little more likelihood he can get there. So I'm intrigued to go there. Now, pivot-wise. Oh, we got to talk about Jalen Williams. Jalen Williams is in a great spot. Gets a huge bump up. 1.22 fantasy points per minute without SGA. He's in a decent matchup. It's not terrible. It's average. And we just saw him put up 48. So definitely willing to go back to Jalen. Pivot time, Cam Thomas. Cam Thomas went off for 40 or 55 points, played 45 minutes the other day. I don't expect him to get 45 minutes again, though, but we do have him at 37, and with all the guys out, he's been playing well. He is a bit of a boom-bust guy and extremely scoring dependent. He put up 38 real points last game, and that's what got him the big score. He's likely not getting into the 40s, unless he goes for 30 plus real points, which he could. On to shooting guard. On DK, we got Isaiah Joe, Josh Giddey, and Jordan Poole. Isaiah Joe played 33 minutes off the bench yesterday. I'm intrigued by having some Joe. We have him at 24.6 minutes. I will absolutely get to some. I'm just not going to get to 30% like the field. And matchup tool, Corey Crispert, Miles McBride, Josh Giddey. I do like some Crispert. I do got to say, I think he's in a good spot versus Detroit, and he can absolutely fill it. We know he has that giant ceiling. He can get us 8, 9x fairly easily if that shot's falling. So I'm definitely a bit intrigued by Crispert. Obviously like Miles and Giddey as well. And moving it on over to FD. Corey Crispert, highest owned, small forward. Jalen Williams and Tossin. I don't even want to try and pronounce that last name, but I'm not playing him. He hasn't done anything since being a starter. I get it if you want to go there, if you need some Detroit players. But look, fantasy per minute wise, 0.5. He needs to play extremely well to get into a lineup, even at his cheap price. And at higher ownership, I just don't like it. I do like Miles Bridges. We know he has a giant ceiling. Playing a lot of minutes. He hasn't been nearly as good with Trey Mann on the court, but I still will take some swings on him. And Kyle Kuzma. Guy's been like extremely solid for mid-40s. And then can, occasionally give you those 50s. And in a spot versus the Pistons, it's very nice. So I do want to touch on this game a little bit more. The Pistons are obviously in a good spot, just like the Wizards. They are just extremely hard to project because nobody's playing very many minutes for them. It's like 8 guys playing 28 minutes, and they're just not quite getting there because of it. So I'm talking about a ton of Wizards here, but not very many Pistons, and that's really why I can't count on any of them, and I don't know who will get a couple extra minutes, if anybody will at all, and it just really, really is hurting their kind of projections and outlook for me on them. And we talked about Cam Thomas, and we'll move it on over to Draftkings small forward Isaiah Joe, Pascal Siakam, and Anthony Edwards. Edwards is just an absolute beast without Cat. However, he struggled the last couple of games. Maybe the finger is causing him a little bit of issues, but he is in a big-time game here versus Denver, and they're going to need him to step up to have any chance in this game. Pascal Siakam, he's had some really big games, and I think this is a great spot for him versus the Lakers. So definitely intrigued with some Siakam. And matchup tool-wise, Miles Bridges, Metu. Metu is a decent one. I think Metu is interesting if he gets 32 minutes. I actually need to go back through my stuff and probably bump him up a little bit. I do think I should probably have liked Metu at only 4,600. He played 32 minutes last game, 39 a couple games ago. I think he plays 27, 28, and there's a chance for him to be in an optimal lineup in a good spot. We're talking... Yeah, we're talking small forward here still. Sorry. Aaron Naismith, LeBron James, Kelly Oubre as far as the matchup tool best bets. Power forward on FanDuel, we got Marvin Bagley, we got Miles Bridges, Jabari Walker, and Kyle Kuzma. Bagley is a guy that I was on big time before he got hurt. I expect him to be starter now. We know he can get into that 40s. And at 6K, I'm extremely intrigued in a good matchup versus the Pistons. Bridges, we talked about. I like him. Jabari Walker. He won me a takedown a little bit ago, and I'm absolutely intrigued. He is expected to be the starter today. If he plays 28 minutes, there's a good chance that he ends up optimal because he's only 4,700. He has a big-time ceiling as well. And Kyle Kuzma, we have talked about. And we will move it on over to DraftKings. Power forward, high-owned guys, Trendon Watford, Jalen Williams, Anthony Davis. AD is somebody that I'm very interested in today. I am going to get some of him without a doubt. Just has a huge ceiling, and in this pacer spot, it's extremely intriguing. Matchup tool-wise, we got Miles Bridges, Metu, Pascal Siakam, Jabari Walker, Kyle Kuzma. All look good to me. And over to center, Marvin Bagley, Trace Jackson Davis, Bam Adebayo. Intrigued in any of them. Jackson Davis is fine. I don't love him that much. I do worry about his minutes. I would expect Kuminga to be back, but who knows kind of, fully what happens there. Or if he's starting. The Warriors have been changing around that starting lineup quite a bit here. If he starts, I still don't expect him to play 33 like he did last time. I would expect that more like 26, 28, and I just can't get there at 26, 28. Bam Adebayo, I think, is very interesting at 8,500 versus Trailblazers that just can't stop centers, and Bam can do a ton with it. My one worry here is a blowout risk, and with it being in Miami, just a little more of a blowout risk. So I definitely probably play, say, Jabari Walker or some power or some Portland players if I'm using Bam. And Jalen Duren, he's pretty much the only Detroit guy I can count on right now. He's playing 28 minutes fairly regularly. At that point, he can absolutely be optimal versus the Wizards. So definitely intrigued with him. I'm also intrigued with Nick Claxton. Like I said, versus Washington, he could break the slate, and he pretty much did. He's in a very good spot now. Not quite as good as Washington, but they're not afraid to give him the extra run. If he gets extra run, he crushes. So definitely a bit intrigued by him. And on to the center spot, we got Marvin Bagley, Watford, and Anthony Davis being the high-owned guys. Matchup tool, Jalen Duren with the best matchup on the slate. I do want to remind you that Duren has crushed Washington this year, and during these, better matchups, that's when he has his just giant blow-up games. So Duren is definitely somebody to have on your radar. Isaiah Hartenstein just sucks. Robinson's back. He only played 19 minutes with Robinson back the other day. I don't expect him to get the minutes to be able to be optimal. And Nick Richards is fine. But with the addition of Al Poku, he's just not getting enough minutes anymore. And AD, I like. Bam, I like. That'll do it for us today, guys. Quick one, quick rundown. Hopefully, you guys all like it and give it enough views so I can keep doing these. If not, I am just too busy with baseball season going on. But let's make some money today. Good luck. See you guys later. Bye.